All right, there we go. So we got Friday Town Hall, 29th of May, 2020. It's awesome. Again, we had a group here online that are absolutely doing, things to make some incredible progress. So a couple quick thoughts, and then we'll get into it. We got Emma, Entrepreneur of the Week last week. Cole, good to see you. We haven't had a chance to be, I'll call this face-to-face. This is 2020's version of face-to-face. So good to see an awesome work out there. And then Andy, you're doing a lot of stuff there online, and seeing them squeezing some oranges out there, it looks like in Saskatoon. So it's awesome. So a couple of real quick thoughts as we jump into it. One is safety, and I know you guys have heard me say it a lot. There's even just a conversation going on in the WhatsApp group around working in the rain, and you can absolutely work in the rain. But at the same time, it's just like anything else. Safety is number one. Always. Quality is a very close second, but making sure that you're safe. So take that, in as you go. Same thing happens with all your PPE. So right now, in general, we've had really good, being in the field, a lot of really good things that are happening. Let's make sure that continues to happen. Wet decks are, you guys will probably be like, I've had enough of Aaron talking about wet decks and not using drop cloths inside. I'm okay with that. And just making sure that you're aware of how to properly do that. If you're on a wet deck or it's a damp deck, which on a bright sunny day can be first thing in the morning, it's having a slightly steeper angle, that 3-to-1 instead of like more to the 4-to-1. And then it's making sure that you've always got a spotter. And you'll never, ever want to put a drop cloth in someone's house. You'll want to, but you never should. I know, and the reason for that would be somebody who is you're trying to do a good job, right? You're disinfecting your ladder, but you don't want to bring any dirt inside. A drop cloth, ladder on a drop cloth in a house will slide 100% of the time. And if you are in the house, make sure you're following PPE protocols. Again, for me, I care way too much about every single one of you and all of your teams to have somebody get sick, or for somebody to make a mistake and have an accident. But there are some amazing things going on in the field right now. Just as perspective, last week was our first week in full production across the entire country. That would usually have been the first week of May. And normally we'd produce about 1,000 jobs. So just as perspective, last week we had the Monday, which was the holiday Monday. So a lot of production didn't happen on that day. So we can say it was technically a shortened week. And we produced about 1,500 jobs. So about 150% the productivity. Again, just general numbers, but 150% the productivity in the first week, which is amazing. And everybody stayed safe, which is, incredible, with the focus on moving that marketing momentum. And that's what we're talking a bit about today. So we'll go, just to give everyone a heads up, we'll go Emma, Cole, Andy, and then Tony. Any thoughts to add? And then Clarissa, and we'll wrap it up quick. So we'll start off with our Entrepreneur of the Week. Someone who's not uncommon to see someone put up 5 digits, needing a comma between some numbers on the weekly side of the rag. So Emma, why don't you take it away? And again, thanks for sharing not just what you've been doing, but how you've been getting those results so that we can all take advantage of it.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Aaron, for having me on this morning. And if I'm going to be honest, I was pretty surprised that I did get Entrepreneur of the Week last week. I think I was really just consumed in all the hustle and bustle last week, and I really just tried, like you said in the group chat, to find balance in everything last week, whether or not that was making sure that my teams were really well off while I could focus on other parts of the business, making sure that I was getting rest, but also putting a lot of time into marketing and follow-ups, and like I said, following up with my assistant managers, because it was the first day of production, or the first week of production for us. And I have 3 crews this year, so it's been definitely a learning curve, different than any other year for sure. But I guess the thing that has always been the thing that's pushed me to go out marketing and getting sales is just my mentality. And I obviously have hired 3 crews of students to give them a job this year. So I spent, not last week, but the week before, pretty much the entire week training my employees so that they were well off for the first week of production and going into the season this year, which in hindsight, it did set me back from my goals, booking wise in that week. But it was really important to me to make sure that since I wasn't going to be able to be on the job sites with them as much as I would want to in the past years, that I really just buckled down and spent a lot of time making sure that they knew what they were doing in order for me to be able to book the amount of work that I need to this year. So last week it was very chaotic. The weather was, we got pretty fortunate with the weather on Tuesday to Friday, but yeah, I honestly don't know how I did it, but I did it. It's just really comes down to your mentality and just knowing what you need to get done. And like I said, having that balance between producing and marketing and working and your personal life, and just knowing what you need to get done and doing it, which I know seems so cliche, but that's really just like how I run my business. And yeah, it's like I said, it's been pretty chaotic, and I feel like most days I don't get done all I need to get done, but just it really just comes down to prioritizing what is really important and what can wait until the next day. So I guess for the logistics side of like how I have been producing the numbers that I have been, referrals and lawn signs have been huge for us, especially in the last few days. And that really comes down to the kind of business that you run, the brands that you want to deliver to your customers. If you show up and you do stand up quality work, like I said, I'm not on most of my job sites. I'm booking work. I'm doing other stuff. And that time, that extra time that I spent with my employees to make sure that they were doing what they needed to do have landed us so many jobs this past week and a little bit. So I personally haven't gone knocking on doors since Monday, since Marketing Mayhem. But I have scheduled estimates. Like we have been finishing around like 4:00 producing, and I've spent pretty much the rest of the evening following up on estimates, scheduling estimates, going to do estimates, that kind of thing. So yeah, referrals and lawn signs have been huge. Facebook's been really awesome this year. So it's nice to try something new, which is really out of my comfort zone, if I'm being honest. But it's been really cool to kind of experiment with that and get some bookings out of that. So yeah, those have definitely been the main ways that I have been booking work. So this weekend I'm going to be knocking on doors. Just a wrench to throw in my week. 2 of my marketers quit, so it'll be fine. Like I said, this is a different kind of business this year, and I know that I can handle these challenges as they come up, but that is the way it is. But I'm guessing I'm going to be going knocking on doors by myself this weekend until I find some replacements. So whatever. But yeah, hope I didn't talk your ear off too much, guys. But that's kind of where I have been at the past few days.
11:00 on Friday.
Yeah.
Somehow, oddly, it feels like a ton of time to get marketers in place for the weekend. I don't know. I don't know, but that's awesome. Thanks for sharing, Emma. And again, that's a 12K booked week. I think what was it? 12K booked last week, 10K produced. So 10 digits total between bookings and production, which is awesome. And yeah, I think a few things I heard in there just to validate. One is mentality, and the second is just multiple tactics. So in mentality, I assume that means just the keep going mentality. Like keep going. So
Absolutely.
it's awesome. Cool. Pass it over to you again. This isn't your first rookie of the week honor. So this isn't just a flash in the pan. You've been doing things consistently to get results. What have you been up to that I've got that?
Yeah. Thanks, Aaron. I mean, to be honest, like when production started first week of May in Winnipeg here, like I was completely like focused, like all in production. I completely like took the bait, and I honestly forgot about how important marketing is for like the first week and a bit. Like I missed my goals really badly the first week. Wasn't even close. So then like it was obviously a wake up call that I need to like focus still 100% on marketing whenever I can. Because even though I knew, it was just one of those things until you see firsthand, like for me at least, I know the importance of marketing. And then yeah, just started like doing all the job site marketing that Jess has been talking about and that has been talked about in the group chat, like how it actually works. Like I wasn't too sure going in, like, oh, what are the neighbors going to think? Like, are they going to get mad at me for knocking at the doors? But like the amount of jobs that we've booked off of neighbors and other people on the street and like referring to the job, hey, we just did this job over here, just at your neighbor's house, whatever. Stuff like that has been huge. And then being able to produce that job even in the same day. Like, hey, we have an extra hour, so we're going to do it now. And then, yeah, as well, my crew has been like super well with like efficiency and like we've gotten fast enough to be able to produce jobs and beat the budget. So then spending an extra 20 minutes at the end of the job, getting them going, knocking on doors and just knocking on as many doors as we can, has been huge and generating a lot of leads from there. And then I'd say maybe the biggest point for me has been being able to book customers like on the spot right after the estimate and not having to worry about following up. But if we do have to follow up, like telling them that I'm going to be giving them a call back the next day or a day or two later, and then like following through with that, because I feel like there could be a big slippage rate for like things get caught up, like we're busy, all that sort of thing. But committing to yourself that you're going to follow up with all your estimates a couple days later if they don't book on the spot, because I think that's why so far my success rate is high, of an estimate, just because I've been able to follow up with the clients right after the estimates or book them on the spot, which has been huge for me as well, I think. But yeah, in terms of that, it's like one thing I definitely want to improve is the social selling. I've only had, I think, one booking off of Facebook. So I guess just grow the page more in terms of that. But other than that, like I've just been really happy with the last couple of weeks of being able to job site market and how big that's been for me. So that's definitely been the biggest turning point, that understanding that you need to be booking as much as you're producing, if otherwise you're going to be running out of work, like you said.
Love it. Yeah. And the follow-up is probably one of the biggest challenges, right? And it's not because someone's lazy. It's just because the volume, right? Between everyone to get back to and everything else you get going on and what have you. But gosh, the follow-up is such a underrated skill, I would say. Being follow up on time and keep it that Facebook. That's the thing. It sounds like Emma's doing really well with it, and our next guy as well. So awesome.
Come back in just quickly, but just about that Cole said. I meant to mention this as well when I was going over what's been huge for us. So like I said, lawn sign referrals, like they're obviously going to call into the call center and you're going to get an email saying that you have a lead, which I actually just got one right now. That's so funny and ironic. But anyways, make sure that you follow up with those customers immediately. And if you don't open the email until you do call and schedule an estimate with them. That might just be a me thing, because I know my turf, they don't schedule and book and work right away. But if you get a lead that doesn't automatically get booked into your schedule, follow up with them right away. And same goes for estimates. If you do an estimate for someone, make sure that you set aside time in order for you to call and follow up with that estimate. So yeah, great job, Cole.
Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. The follow up again, especially this how fast you do it is probably as much as how you do it. So awesome. Andy, I'll pass it over to you. I know Clarissa reached out to you. I've my Facebook feed's full of Andy's window cleaning. So why don't you say a bit of what you've been doing?
Yeah, Facebook's been huge for me, aside from producing and on job site marketing. I think Facebook is a really good source of marketing and another source of leads and estimate coming in as you keep working throughout the day. People see your Facebook. For me, I feel like it's really important to build that trust. People, I think people can look at your Facebook and, you can post anything, but definitely have to build the trust in your customer, because what you're seeing online may not be what you're seeing in real life. So like you definitely have to build that trust for the customer, and then you start do conversion ad, which is like the ads where you start getting leads and stuff from, and that's where it goes really well. And definitely build trust. Step one, build trust, and then you get them leads. Definitely show the work that you're doing. Show them the infographic information that may help them. Talk about that a lot. And then for sure, the reviews are really nice. It's definitely the organic ones. Those ones just definitely way better than the ones that your, say, your friends, your family just put up your page, just to help you. But the organic ones really shows. People really look into the organic ones and see if like it's how we're doing the job. If the job's good. I really love those. I mean, I have just like yesterday, I had one of my customers that I booked on Facebook that we came clean their windows. She was super happy. And one other thing I do as well is if I know that I booked that job on Facebook or they found me on Facebook, then I just automatically at the end of a job I tell them, hey, if you're satisfied with the job, I would really appreciate it if you can leave us a review on our Facebook. And if say they're one of your previous customer or you're cold calling leads and you book that job, then what I have is like a little postcard that has my story, my Facebook, phone number, email, and tell them check out my Facebook. It'd be great if you can, leave a review on my Facebook as well about the job we did for you. I mean, it's just huge. Facebook is definitely going to be growing a lot for me. It's been going pretty well so far, and I'm just hoping for a better future.
Beautiful. And that kind of leads to what we're going to do on Saturday. So awesome, Andy. As I said, it's been fun. I feel like I'm the biggest fan of Andy's window cleaning. Facebook got the algorithm. It's showing me your stuff all the time. So probably because I'm clicking on it that's all the time. So that's awesome. Thanks, Andy. And anything that on your end that you'd like to add, just based on what you're seeing outside of College Pro and inside of College Pro?
Did you say Tony?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if it was clear. So guys, I'm improving here based on what I heard because there's a bunch of great stuff. I don't know who said, I think it was Cole that said, I just got one from Facebook. Man, I got to tell you, they're trying to do Facebook on a bunch of other brands and they can't even get one. So that's the beginning of a lot of things. Very happy to see the social selling. I think it's going to be part of who we are. I want to circle back to the mindset and just thinking about if not now, then when. That's the kind of orientation we have to have. And honestly, you will, and you can text me or email me in 10 years and say, Tony, you were right, because I will be right. This is the biggest opportunity for anyone who's listening to this. Text, parents, make sure your sons and daughters are working hard if you're hearing this, because it's we've been talking about what would it take, and we've been doing that, and whatever it takes, those two phrases are really, really important right now. And that mindset. And I do want to say you have the College Pro fan, the CP fan behind you here. If you're going through a transition curve, reach out. If you have a question, reach out. Safety first, do no harm. Safety and success. We've been talking about that for 11 weeks. Keep that going. But I know that if it wasn't for my peers, and it's not as easy to talk to my peer as it was for me as it is for you. Talk to your peers, talk to your GMs, contact Aaron and I. If there's something going on, reach out, because you can't afford to stop momentum. And that mindset is so important. Do not get it done should be what you get up and start. It's not a deep thought process right now. It's just about getting the stuff done. And we know in general what we have to do, and that activity is going to win the day. I don't know if I'm allowed to be proud of everything I'm hearing, but I'm quite proud of what I'm hearing, and I'm about to talk to, in a few minutes, about to talk to the old owners of College Pro on a couple of other topics, and I'm just going to tell them you'd be really proud of what's going on in this business that Dan and I bought from you. So very happy. Keep safe. And that other thing that I don't want anyone to lose what Emma just talked about. Everyone's at home right now. So if you call them, as soon as they give you, they call you, it's a win. You're going to land that work. So over to you, Aaron.
There's just one more thing that I was thinking about this morning from when I think it was your first talk to us, I think maybe at TSA, and you mentioned that getting 8 hours or more of sleep is your number one superpower, and I have never been like more relatable to that than I have in the past week and a little bit. So I have made sure to prioritize that I get enough
Awesome.
rest and sleep.
Sorry.
Is that you?
I
Cole?
was just going to say one more thing as well.
Fire away.
I forgot to say.
I love the wanting to add. It's great. It's awesome.
Yeah, I think it was said last week as well, but I've had a lot of success from just thank you emails as well. I'm just getting somebody to send them every day, just kind of the next day after, just as like before, just a template of thanks for this, and here's the links to social media as well. And then just asking for referrals in that email as well. And I've gotten a lot of I wasn't expecting to get many responses, but there's been a lot of people that have replied and said, thank you, Cole. We appreciate the work so much. And we'll definitely look for more people to do the work for. So I think that's been a huge thing as well.
Yeah, it's massive, right? It's like the pain in the ass stuff. It's not sexy, but kind of admin, but it really, really goes a long way. I couldn't agree more. So awesome. We're gonna wrap it up real quick with Clarissa. Just a bit more info about tomorrow. I think tomorrow is going to be take anything that's happening on Facebook right now. If anyone, whatever you're doing tomorrow, will take it to another level. It's kind of the next step is how we see it in being able to be productive there. So Clarissa, I'll hand it off to you.
Yeah, thanks, Aaron, for having me on. You guys can probably hear all the birds in the background. I'm taking advantage and sitting outside. But quickly, I think Aaron and Tony keep talking about, 10xing your experience this summer. And I really hope that these social selling sessions are serving that mission, right? It's something that is such a crucial aspect of being an entrepreneur in 2020. So, tomorrow, we're essentially going to be going through how to create content and really thinking through how do you get your customers to feel like they're being spoken to through your Facebook, which is a really interesting skill, and it's not as it's definitely tricky. So we have Jessica Schuster who's coming in to talk with us about it. She's an expert in the field and a friend of Edward's, and we'll have Edward at the beginning as well to kind of frame the session, and everyone loves Edward, so it can't get better than that. So tomorrow, a quick reminder, 2 to 4, it'll be on Zoom, and if you're in the field, you can call in, which is awesome because you can be on it from your phone. I've already emailed it out, the link, but I'll also put it in the WhatsApp so it's easy to get. And then we'll definitely be recording it, but I know it'll benefit you from being there live. Jessica's going to be taking a Q&A, a 15-minute Q&A session at the end. So it'll be a really great chance if you're struggling or you don't know what to post. I know Cole was saying he wanted to work on it. So it's a great time to ask an expert in the field that's her job, right? So I'm really excited for tomorrow. And then last quick thing, if I can, is just the gear store. We have our last deadline, not our last deadline, sorry, but our next deadline is this Sunday. So it's a really good chance to order not just swag, but marketing materials you might need for all of June and even July. I would start to think ahead so that way you can take advantage of it and don't catch yourself unprepared without some sign frames or flyers. So I think that's all from me, and I'll see everyone tomorrow.
Fantastic, everyone. So we'll wrap it there. I know we're a few minutes longer than normal, but it's some awesome stuff there in general. Thanks for all the work everyone's doing. Stay safe. Keep pushing. Keep building that momentum. Understand that momentum, I say it all the time, momentum's always happening. It's either going in the right direction or you're kind of getting some negative momentum. Make sure you're doing those things to push it the right way. And you guys can do it. Whatever you're trying to do, someone else is out there. They're doing it, what you're trying to do. Reach out. You can do whatever you're trying to. I guarantee it. Have an awesome rest of your Friday, everybody. And we will talk to everybody at the very latest next week. See you guys. Take care.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Hey, guys. Thanks.